I'll run at a kid and be like, try to chop me.
He loves the
I
challenge.
fight with kids all the time, and they try to hit me with
They're
baseball
shooting
bats.
teachers now. I wouldn't test them.
I run
this is a
close,
little crazy.
and then when they try to chop me, the swing, that's like I dodge the swing, I juke the swing. I do this with my sons. They have weapons, and they try to hit me. They try to hit me, and I dodge it.
That upper body
and then I
strength.
grab them.
This is a great opportunity to showcase some skills and like just put on a clinic.
I would
as a
rather you
donor.
did it.
Well,
I'm
And
gonna
then I hit him in the head with
piggyback on what Sam's saying. No offense to them, but your boys. I mean, I think part of the enjoyment you get out of fighting your sons is that maybe they go easy on you.
It's the worst.
I need to teach Andrea the joy of being bad at life.
There's joy in that?
There is joy, Samantha.
There's
but
joy in everything, Tom
it's-
says.
it's
It's
an
a book coming out later this year.
It's the same joy that like the Joker feels when he's burning the money and he's just standing.
Just chaos.
Yeah, some men like to watch the world burn.
Yeah, he's burning the money, and it's like, why are you doing that, Joker? And he loves it, right? So the same thing when I order one Jersey Mike sub on a Sunday, and I'm out
It's
doing
a $38 sub.
Yeah.
I'm out doing yard work, and I'm like, I'm hungry, and then I'm like, I could get in my car, a truck, and drive over to Jersey Mike's and easily order it on the app, and then run inside.
That's what she does.
Like there's an
Yeah.
easy process, but instead I go to Uber Eats or DoorDash or whatever. I
You
click on.
bring the food to me.
I click on.
Yeah.
I click Jersey
I
Mike's.
want that.
I get one medium Italian combo.
Wow.
And then it's like,
That's a good
it's
sub,
like,
by the way.
it's like $8.50 or like maybe I guess Jersey Mike's like $13.
Oh, Brock Medium says he has absolutely paid $60 for 2 chicken sandwiches. $60 for 2 chicken sandwiches.
And then so you.
Oh my God.
It's $13 worth of the order.
She'll
and then-
never do that. She's too cheap.
And then
And I-
delivery.
And
I
the
have
delivery,
told you-
and, yeah, and
I
then
have told
you
you
have
my
to at
wife
least
is
tip
cheap.
$5, yeah, and then, yeah, and then it comes to $28, and then I look at it and it's like and then I order, I'm like. And then you're filled with regret, which gives you a burst of adrenaline.
Until
Hold on,
you
I'll
get
tell
the
you.
sub, you got to get the sub. And
Yeah.
then it's all you feel
No,
better.
yeah. But instantly you get buyer's remorse, and then you start punishing yourself. You're like, idiot. This is why you're, why do you do this?
Yeah.
Like you could eat, like you're wasting money.
Hey,
You're
don't
such a
tell
waste.
anybody you did this, you idiot.
Yeah, but then there's a secret, like an
Yeah.
element, like, oh, don't tell Crystal.
naughty. It's a
don't
little
tell
naughty.
anybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you forget. It's kind of like when you're bad at life and you waste money doing something stupid, overdraft, all the stuff. I get a little bit of that back.
Yeah.
It's my overdraft for
Yes,
you.
yeah.
Because like, why did this pack of cigarettes cost me $25 in overdraft fees, but you still got your sweet cigarettes. So when the sub gets delivered,
This isn't my way of thinking,
And
but
then
I'm
you
almost
eat it.
on
Is it the
board.
best sub you ever had?
no, it's
It's a medium
It's cold.
sub.
It's
It's a
soggy.
medium Italian.
Yeah. It took forever to get there. Yeah, it's not
It's
even,
smushed,
all
yeah.
your Diet Coke is a water. It's all bad.
Yeah, it's all bad.
Everything about it
And
is
they put
bad.
it right in front of your storm door, so you have to knock it over to get your
They
food.
knock the Coke
Yeah.
over. Yeah.
Everything about it is bad, but that's what makes it good.
All right.
Yeah, it's crazy. So the T-shirt,
Yeah.
it turns out it was for a real high school that still exists today, and it's a tiny little town of like, I think there's like 25,000 people or something that live there. Someone noticed because I'm in the scene where I'm marching out, you can see it. So had I not been upgraded to have that whole scene, this would have never happened. Had they not chosen that shirt, this would have never happened. It was so serendipitous that everything came together. Someone noticed and during my close-up when I'm shouting at them, like, why y'all sitting around for? You heard the kid. They paused it and took this picture of me on the screen.
Hello,
and
hello,
it went
hello,
viral.
Hello,
Just
hello. Sorry, Adam. Ow. Headphones sound weird. That's because I turned it all down. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Who was in here first? It was Big Doug. Big Doug was. I can't let him down now with the time. Now that I told him 10:50. I really tried for you, dog. Shell, hello. Kendall Hill, EJ, what's up, my friend? I'm very excited to see you today. What do you got on the agenda for Nerd Jock? Shred Bear, hello. Aggravate Twitch, that's a lot of money for damn 2 burritos, dog. And you went to Moe's? See, I'm not anti-Moe's like most other people are. I'm surrounded by a bunch of Chipotle people. Tom, are you Moe's or Chipotle?
I don't really go to either of those that often,
But if you did,
I like Chipotle.
yeah, I knew you'd say that because the names are intimidating at Moe's. It's the thing that chases me away from Moe's as well. The aggressive names. It's like the John Kokostan. What's up? I was just watching you, man. I don't think I realized. I don't know why, but I don't think I realized that you sang while you were drumming, and you're really, really good at it.
Thank you.
I'm talking to Twitch and YouTube right now, so.
Am I all right to sit here?
Oh yeah. That's all you. That's gonna be you. Do you need anything to drink? You want a water?
I'll take a water.
Okay. All right. Fizzy or like a little bottle guy?
Normal water.
You got it. Normal water is underrated.
And essential.
It is. I was just telling Tom I don't drink enough.
I was watching a cliff diving competition
Nice.
last night with my wife, and it's not really cliff diving; it's just high platform, and they were diving into Boston Harbor.
Okay,
so there's no
yeah.
cliffs in
So it's
Boston.
like a
Is
Red
it-
Bull thing?
Yeah,
yeah,
Red Bull
yeah.
series, right? And the color commentator at one point said, "One thing that's a constant is the water," and I thought that was very profound and also
what you
obvious? I don't
have
know.
to remember here is this
The
the old,
water doesn't change.
The water's gonna be there.
Like, all right?
Yeah. You all right?
That's called filling time.
Yeah, we used to have to do that. I remember I used to
as host.
this is the warm up too because we just turned these things on and I
Okay.
talking today. But let's see here. I used to do color commentary. I think you did it. No, did you do the? Did you?
I
ever?
never did the Predators.
Okay, so I ended up doing color commentary for the Orlando Predators, but I legitimately had no business doing it at all. Like, I mean, there's no way I should have ever been seated. Like, no business being a sports anything.
Well, it's a ramshackle.
It was ramshackle. So they had Shot Doctor doing. It's probably some of my funniest. I will go to if somebody can find the tapes. I got away with a lot because I had to rely on the crowd and things going wrong while he did real football.
Was it
play by play?
Was it broadcast on the internet or on TV somewhere?
It
was probably with
no
TV.
no one knows. no one knows.
Well, back then it probably was
And-
on some local.
Am I
sports-
correct in thinking that it was in the new Kia Center?
What do you mean?
Did I do it in the in what
Or
would
the
have been
Amway.
what would have been the Amway?
Did the Predators play in the?
I think
No,
I thought they did. I
well,
thought they did when
it
it
was
first got
probably
rebooted.
It was probably the TD Waterhouse back when you were doing that because it was because by the time they were playing at the new arena, it was
Already bankrupt?
No.
See, I can't put the timeline together, and I blame this on COVID.
No,
Like, I can't put my Orlando history back together now because there's a period where
No,
I
you're
just
not.
didn't do anything, or I just
Even if it was stuff that happened
Yeah.
before.
yeah, it's like
no, you're right. It would be there.
it
It would be
messes-
there.
what it-
yeah, because I
I-
remember doing
I
stunts
think they did
and
one
stuff there.
season in it, and I remember thinking,
They did multiple. It was multiple.
but I remember thinking this should not be here because it's it was brand new at the time. Like, it was literally the brand new Mercedes lounge, and I don't even know if it's the Mercedes lounge now because I know the sponsorships change. But anyway, there's our warm up. If you want to wear those, great, might help. I've
Yeah.
had weird sound things lately in here, so tell me if you hear anything weird.
No.
All right, great,
Sounds good.
beautiful.
Am I okay?
Yep,
Good level?
you sound great.
All right.
I'll give you a little more. All right, Mr. Van.
All right.
Let's talk all things Melrose. Would you like to begin?
Sure.
And where's this?
This is coming back. This will play tonight.
Okay, great. Here we go. And
Why does my watch do that?
it did that yesterday.
Yeah.
And it wasn't 10:56. It did like 3:02.
It's just odd times.
Yes. That's a little scary. That's the AI. Okay, here we go. 3.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. We've got Jim here from the Orange County Library System. How you doing, Jim?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Very
Good.
good to see you, man. Thanks
see you
for
guys. Thanks for
thanks
inviting
for
me.
being here. I was just watching you this morning on YouTube.
Yeah.
I was telling Tom about you guys just released the concert footage from last year's Melrose Pop Festival.
Yes.
And it is a really good watch, man. I'm going to have to go back and watch the whole thing, especially with my daughter. Marco starts it off. He's like, I didn't know how talented that guy was.
He's super talented.
I had no idea he plays piano, too,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
guitar, and sings. I just saw his improv comedy. I had no idea the guy was a singer. But hats off to him. So some flowers to him because he's super talented. But, yeah, well done on the video, man. You guys did a really good job on that.
Thanks. Yeah, it was a real labor of love. Spent a lot of time on that. I kind of was the one who put the outline together, picked the performances to make it fit into like an hour-long show, and then I got to give my congrats to Gabriel Soltran, one of the Melrose video instructors who did all the editing, and
That's great.
Isra Batista did all the audio mixing to make it all sound very consistent, and of course the performers. It was such a great concert last year. I was here talking about it before it happened with you guys.
Yep. Yeah.
And we pulled it off. And about the pop festival being an homage to the Monterey Pop
Sure,
Festival,
yeah.
the concert film following that was part of it. We wanted to follow it up like they had a concert movie that's of course very famous, the Monterey Pop Festival film.
Yeah.
And a couple of things. Speaking of Marco, his performance on the piano in that is just like bathed in like this deep red light. And that was his idea with Ryan Mulcahy, the guy who did the stage production for the show, to do that for that one song. And I wanted to include that because in the Monterey Pop Festival film, Simon and Garfunkel famously perform under this just solid red light for their whole set.
Yeah.
And I learned reading about the Monterey Pop Festival that the reason that happened was the lighting guy was tripping so hard.
Really?
He looked at the board and he couldn't figure it out, so he just left it red for an hour, and that's why Simon and Garfunkel are in red. So
Yeah.
Marco was an homage to that in our film. Although Ryan was not tripping.
Yeah. That we know of. Right.
Also, you would think,
Yeah.
like, even no matter how hard you're tripping or on drugs, that if you're a lighting guy, you've been doing it so long,
No.
I feel like muscle memory, you
No.
know where the white light is.
You know well. There are sometimes.
Or you just freak
yeah.
out, you freeze.
I mean, I could have had six.
You freeze.
I could have had 6 green apple White Claws on a Sunday and come in here on a Monday, and I'm like, oh, I freeze. it takes me a second. You know what I mean? Like, it takes me a second. Even with a
Yeah.
hangover, it will take me a second to be like, You know, something else I learned about the Monterey Pop Festival that I had no idea, even the last time we talked, I thought this was like hella interesting, especially for musicians, is it was one of the first times, and I don't know if you've heard this or maybe I'm wrong, but I believe it was one of the first times that studio musicians playing on stage had these fancy monitors.
Absolutely, it was revolutionary at the time. And there's a part of the Monterey Pop Festival film where David Crosby, they're kind of warming up with the birds, and he's like, "Whoa, the sound! Like we can hear ourselves." It's like you could see the difference. You're right; it was one of the very first times. So Forerunner, not only in just modern music festivals that all came after, but actually producing a live sound for the musicians that makes it, that much a better performance. Because, obviously hearing yourself is a big deal.
It gets you to the point where it's kind of like in here where we do have people that, once they put the headphones on, you can regulate your voice. You can maybe even navigate the conversation more accurately. It seems like it gives you more space. And to those that don't know what monitors are and they're thinking like computer, no, what we're referencing are speakers that would be on stage pointed back at the actual performer. So the performer has a really crisp and clear sound of their voice or maybe their acoustic guitar.
Yeah,
and
they can't hear themselves without that.
Yeah, especially if there's outward, like crowd noise. So if you're going up against crowd noise and you're just projecting noise towards the crowd and they're projecting it back at you, you need a little more of you so you're able to cut through that so you can hear. Also, I believe it was the company Macintosh, the big boy audio engineer company Macintosh, not Apple. I swear I'm not trying to confuse people. But they were the guys, I think, that made these massive amps. And at the time, I think they were like 300 watt or so. And that was like considered legendary. So like it was like one of the first times that they had this type of technology. So it's like it's very, very historical.
And the reason we're talking Melrose Pop Festival is because it's happening again July 7th on Sunday. So it's next Sunday. It's from 1:30 to 5 p.m.
Killer lineup again.
Yeah.
I mean, you got heavy hitters, man. Terry Binion, really?
Yeah, we're really excited about this.
Songwriter royalty, right?
Yeah, and she's going to cap off the show. She's the headliner. She's going to do a solo show. And we're also welcoming Swanberger back to town with Mugs and Pockets.
I'd never heard Mugs and Pockets until this morning, and I started screaming from the other room to Tom, and I'm like, oh my God, man, this is so good.
Oh, yeah.
I had a little boom bap up a little too high in the studio today. But, and I believe that's their only performance. They will, Mugs and Pockets is in town to promote, and I believe they have some listening parties that they will be going to, but the only performance, if you want to see them, you have to go to this show. It's the only one.
Yeah. And before we talk about all the other acts, if you have your library card, this is free
if
for you.
If you don't, you're dumb.
And if
I'll
you
say
do,
it.
And what if you don't have your library card, Jim? Can you still go to the Melrose Pop Festival?
Yes, absolutely. The Melrose Pop Festival is open to all ages. It is just an event that we're having in the Melrose Center. And I will say, if you haven't been to the Melrose Center, this is a great chance to come see how incredible the space is. I would say that if I didn't work there. But the stage is actually in the Melrose Center. The doors are just open all day. So the library opens at 1 o'clock on that Sunday. So the show starts at 1:30. Come have a day of it and see the whole library. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a free event, and like Jim said, it gives you an opportunity to see the Melrose Center.
Well, at its highest working, I kind of feel like it's like when everything, it's like, all right, let's really show you guys what this thing can do. You've got like top tier hip hop artists on stage. You've got singer-songwriters like pouring their heart out, making you cry. Lighting, you've got it's the whole thing.
And then when you're standing in the Melrose Center and looking around at all the stuff the Melrose Center has to offer, then you start looking at what classes are available.
Sure.
And we're going to talk about that in a second, because you can get free education.
You can.
Like on so many different things, including photography, video editing. They've got theater class. They got sewing. And Jim, name off some of the other things, because you go
you guys
through the
are
list.
always changing, right? Like there's always something new.
Yeah, well, you guys touched on fiber arts being a new part of the Melrose Center. The fiber arts studio has existed for a long time, but we've just kind of like brought it into the Melrose Center. We're kind of the whole second floor now of the Orlando Public Library. But to go on, we've got game design classes. If you're interested in creating video and immersive games, we have classes to show you how to do that, as well as computers. We have simulators, a flight and a driving simulator for people to learn how to drive or to like get an idea of what it's going to take to get a pilot's license. We don't issue the license or certify, but we've got realistic stuff. Yeah, we've got audio, video, and photography classes that help people gain access to professional grade studios. The Makerspace has 3D printers, laser cutters, Glowforge, vinyl cutters. All sorts of things that you can gain access to through a class, essentially.
Yeah, if you want to 3D print, I know that in some of the sewing class, like if you want to make a cosplay outfit,
that's cool, man.
I forgot. It's in a couple days, and sometime in June, you're like, learn how to make horns for your cosplay character.
Exactly.
Horns.
That is useful.
Yeah. And these classes
I'm not
are
buying
intimate.
horns. I'm not an animal. I'm gonna make my horn.
Like the ability to be in an intimate class setting like this and have that sort of access and get that education for free is crazy.
I also
Jim.
feel like it doesn't have that weird stigma that, like, if you were saying this morning about plus the thousands of dollars if you enrolled at some, and there, I'm sure there are out there, but why not just go?
Technical institutes charge a lot of money for this.
Let's start with the library. Start with some of the friendly folks there and see how far you can get. I think you'd be pretty surprised at how good you can do.
So let's go back to Melrose Pop Festival. Again, it's July 7th. It's free. It's at the Orange County Library System. I know I saw Dizzle Funk on
Universal Funk Orchestra.
Yeah, he's a buddy of ours.
Oh, cool.
And so the Universal Funk Orchestra is going to play as well, which me and Daniel have been trying to work with them and get them to do one of our events for a while.
Tremolords will be there. I've seen them. I've seen them in the library, right? Haven't I seen them there? Where have I seen them?
I don't know.
They've been playing a lot lately, but
Yeah.
yeah, I seen. And then Amy Robbins in a Sidecar, which is probably the greatest name
Yes.
I've heard. I mean, like, at first when I read it, I was like, "Am I saying that wrong?" No, I'm saying it correctly.
And are there like things going on at the Melrose Center while the pop festival is going on? So like, because there's podcasting studios. Like for anybody who asks us like, how do I learn how to podcast? Or I don't have any of the equipment. I don't have a studio. I have nowhere to do it. It's like
Most of the time,
Melrose.
I do
really
say,
good.
yeah. Most of the time, I do say, "Hey, I mean, you could probably save a lot of dough if you just got your library card." I asked him, "Where do you live first?" You know, like if you're in the county, you know, like load it. Even if you're not, load it up.
Here's what you could do. Let's say you know nothing about nothing, right? So, like in your Tom Van, because I could use this, right? Because surprisingly, I know nothing about the technical part of this whole business. Jim, it would blow your mind if you actually sat me in front of the computer and asked me to explain to you how we even upload the show.
Yeah. Nothing can be done.
Anyway, I can go to the Melrose Center, I could use their podcast studios, record my podcast with great microphones, go to one of the classes, learn how to audio edit.
Yeah.
I can edit my own podcast. I can learn how to produce my own intros. Yeah, I could do that a lot. But
I'm sure
you can learn AI.
I'm sure they're going to have AI classes as things, you know, how to make a prompt, how to do, you know,
learn how to
just evolve.
Learn how to video edit because now you have a professional video camera with your cell phone. Everybody does, and you can learn how to shoot video edit for your own social media. Like,
I wonder what's the oldest person you've had use the Melrose.
Oh, we've had people in their 80s.
Yeah, I think that's killer, dude. When you've got like Andrea's grandpa's in his 90s, and he uses an iPhone like a magician. You know, like he's so in, and because he's always stayed with it.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost like moving your body. He's never stopped, so he looks good, you know. But like he doesn't have that disconnect, you know. So that I wonder sometimes. I'm thinking like it would be cool to see like who's the youngest and who's the oldest at the Melrose.
Yeah, no.
Who would be the youngest?
Oh, probably 10.
Yeah, that's about right. About your son's age.
You know,
Tommy's right at that age where it's like you start to like find things and you hone them and then you master them. You know, like,
and to be able to have access to this, and like I said, if for any young people or anybody that can't afford traditional college or tech school or something, like there's so much opportunity to learn all these skills here, and all it costs is a library card.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy.
What's the most like? Is it as soon as you guys open up? Is it like people pouring in there, or what are your low hours, or what are your like chill times?
Well, a lot of it has to do with the hours of the library. The library opens at 10 o'clock, except on Sunday at 1 o'clock, and closes at 7 or 6 o'clock on Friday and Saturday. So we're open when the library is open. We close the center a half hour before. So we're pretty steady throughout the whole day, and I think you mentioned the podcast booth. That's a new feature in the center. We have sound booths. We have 3 sound booths and a podcast booth that's like 8x16 room where 2 to 4 people can get together and record. And aside from the studios that take a little bit of training to get access to along with the makerspace, those sound booths are probably the most popular thing right now. We see them check out, 150 plus times a month. So they are very popular and very well used. And you mentioned, when we were talking about who's the oldest customer we've had in the Melrose Center, a gentleman that I've worked with who is kind of learning how to do audio recording, and he's just checked out the booth a few times, and he'll come and say, yeah, I'm kind of just figuring this out. I'm like learning a little bit about this software today. So people are doing that. The editing bays, which have iMac computers, software, photo scanners, MIDI keyboards, a Wacom drawing tablet in them. Those are very popular as well.
Yeah.
So, and I have to say the Fiber Arts classes are hugely popular. They have an open lab like 3 times a week, and it's very well attended. So I think people are doing all sorts of things. And of course the studios, once people gain access to those spaces, we make them available to reserve essentially like 20 to 30 times a month. And they check out like 95% of the time that people are booking those spaces.
That's great, man.
We see the dates go up on the calendar, and within a week they're all filled. So I think people are becoming more and more aware of the center, and it's just great to see because the best part about it, I think I've told you guys this before, is the staff. These are subject matter experts who are really passionate about sharing what they know. And you're right, it's a great place to learn because there's not a lot of high pressure. You're not investing a lot in tuition. The class sizes are small. And
Not to go back to the anxiety thing, because that's like one of my specialties. But like seriously, like the number one thing I get from a lot of people that'll like approach me or email me. Well, the number one question I get is, "Oh, Dan, can you help me start a podcast?" I'd say over the course of me being alive, it's probably my number one email. Kind of sad, but kind of cool too. But then I'll tell them. I mean, like the easiest thing to tell them is just to go to the library and do it, because
get your library card, then go through the schedule of classes.
Don't even get in front of me, because I've tried to tell people before, and sometimes even if especially if they're a fan of what you and I do, they'll be nervous being around me. No, just do it on your own. There's never been a better time to read things and there's so much like walkthroughs and things online, and you get your card and you go in there and kind of do it at your own pace, and it does kill all of that.
And guess what? The employees at the Melrose Center are super nice,
kind,
and if you get going there a lot and they get to know
you're a
you,
regular.
you could ask them a lot of questions. They are a wealth of knowledge, and they will help you.
Yeah.
It's never been easier to write. Like, you want to start a podcast, someone's like, I can never afford what does it cost?
That's
a library card?
That's insane.
You could use Professional Studios, all the editing software, all the free education for all the editing and video. Like, it's all there, and like Jim said, the small class sizes, and and there are tons of people that just help you out. Plus, everybody that goes there is nice too.
Yeah.
Like, networking is great too.
The vibe, you just got to go and check it out to see it. And again, the Melrose Pop Festival is a great, I think it's the perfect time to go and check it out, because you get to see it you get to see
artists
it
all day.
working. It's not going to be quiet. It'll be buzzing and super duper fun. Is there anything else we're missing or that we need to tell people for the 7th?
No, I think really that's it. It's open to the public, free of charge. You don't need a library card or any type of Melrose membership.
Yeah.
So please just come and enjoy it.
This one's just free.
Day.
Just come check it out.
Yeah. And then
SJ's saying, is that true that your video cameras are all red cameras? Or you have red cameras at the library?
You mean the brand?
Yeah.
Black Magic.
Black Magic. Oh, yeah, Black Magic.
Yeah.
They're throwing lingo in here. Like the audio video guys are in there, and they're like, hey, they got the good stuff.
You
got the good stuff.
Yeah, you want to learn how to operate Black Magic cameras. It's all there.
It's
library card.
It's the good stuff. Yeah.
For the video camera folks out there, I think we've got Ursa 4.6K, and we just got a 12K too. So video
that's what they want. Thank you, Jim.
I
don't know any of that. I am audio man, so thank you for saying that.
I know the catch. The library card's $1,000 a month, right, Jim? It's $1,000 a month.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, and listen, if you live in the library service area, all this is free with a library card. But even if you don't, I will mention a lot of people find value in purchasing a fee card for the Orange County Library System. It's $125 for a year, and it enables anyone in your household to have a card for that $125 for the year. It's not just the Melrose Center you get access to databases, online circulation, of course, all of the things in the Melrose Center, classes, everything comes with it.
That was the next question, is if you're out of Orange County. And then there's a lot of drooling. There's a lot of, they're using DaVinci Resolve, Editor Studio, Suite. There's a lot of video genuflecting going on in the whatever's happening in there. They're happy with your equipment.
If my sons ever come to me and they want to be social media influencers or YouTubers or whatever,
I'll teach them.
I will say, all right, this is perfect, because there is free education, or $125 a year at the library, and you can go get video editing skills. You can learn how to operate cameras. You can learn how to be a photographer. You can record your podcast at a professional studio, learn how to video edit. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the things you would need. Learn how to make your own costumes, whatever the hell.
Here's why. And there's a great place to leave you right here. This is a great ending segment, but on people that want to do their own. How many parents have emailed me and asked, what's the perfect setup for podcasting? And I tell them, and then they buy it, and then they want to sell it back to me. How many? You know of one.
Yeah.
You know of one that emailed you. And they're like, you want to buy this, and you want this Focusrite back? I got an SM7B. You want? I'm like, no. I told you to go to the library. I told you.
Yeah, book a podcasting room. Then
try it
before
you buy it, please.
Do a dozen episodes at
and
their
then buy your stuff.
and then you get your own. And then if you can get a dozen dozen done.
And here's the problem.
Edit them.
Here's the problem with that. You're going to try to do it yourself. And the equipment at the library is going to be better.
Yeah, 100%.
You're going to end up
yeah.
having to buy cheaper stuff. You know, you get a Samsung
yeah.
mic or something, or maybe you wanted to edit on a Mac, but no, sorry.
Yeah, the audio
couldn't
in the
afford it.
room is
Yeah.
going to be perfect.
So just
Yeah.
use the library and then see what they have, and then
Yeah.
and then email me later. Okay.
Good advice.
Well, Jim, before we leave, let's talk about how you shred the drums while you sing,
Dude.
because that is amazing.
Yeah. We were both geeking out on like and I
Yeah.
want to give you
How
some,
hard is
some-
that?
some love. I want to tell the listeners he drums and sings at the same time perfectly.
Do you?
I
in your-
can't do that.
In your opinion,
you.
is that harder than playing guitar and singing?
For me, it's not. It would be harder to play guitar because I'm not a guitar player.
Yeah,
so
okay.
to me, I think it's probably kind of comparable to a rhythm guitar player. It's just I'm using my feet and my hands while I do it. I don't know. Sometimes I feel when I sing with other people, like I do a project with Beth McKee that sometimes we sing together. And when I'm not behind the drums, it feels a little awkward almost because I'm used to having something to do.
Oh yeah,
you know?
yeah. I've never thought about that.
But
you got a good voice too, man.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I really
and you can
appreciate that.
see him in the video. I'm not no spoilers. You just have
Yeah.
to find him. I'm not going to tell you where he's at.
I'm gonna
Gotta
go
watch
ahead
the whole thing.
and say it's harder than singing and playing the guitar because your arms and legs are moving
Yeah.
all over the place, and when you're playing the guitar, it's concentrated in one area.
Okay,
I'm just
like
gonna
into
say,
your core.
Yeah. Well, just your arm, you're just moving on the fretboard and then strumming, and with playing the drums, you're
I think most
filling and
drummers
you're-
would probably agree with that because we get like kind of crapped on a lot.
Yeah, I
you
think
know,
it's
like drummers are,
physically
like-
harder.
Drummers are. We are the butt of all jokes, right?
All right,
Drummers are
if,
always.
If you insist, okay. It's
Yeah.
I
All
think
right,
it is harder.
Jim.
I do think it's harder.
Take that, guitarist.
Yeah. Jim says you're weak. No, he didn't say that. He never said that. Okay.
Again, it's the Melrose Pop Festival, Sunday, July 7th. Go to ocls.info for all information.
Yep.
Thanks, Jim. We appreciate
Appreciate
it.
you, man.
Thank you, guys.
And we will be right back.
Awesome. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
That was really fun. Awesome. I will save that. Where's that go to?
That is Tuesday tonight, 3.
Tonight, 3. Gotcha. Thank
It'll be tonight.
Yes.
Okay.
It'll air tonight.
Excellent.
Tuesday. Well, thanks for coming in, man. And
Yeah, if
good luck with the 7th.
and if you need to promote anything or any changes, just let
Yeah, let us know. We'll get the word out. We'll do ASAP. All right. But this is going to be killer, man. Really appreciate it as always.
Yeah.
Yep. Good seeing you, man. Cheers.
See ya.
Sorry, I left some water.
Oh, no,
Oh,
yeah,
no,
that's
you're
fine.
good,
We'll
man.
clean it up later.
We got it.
Well, actually, I'll take it with me.
And if
You
you
can
want
have another one
snacks
if you-
for the road, we
Yeah.
got a little snack over here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
make yourself at home, man. CTP3 said raw 6 25 24 21 men's. Okay. Bassists don't get shit on. Ever. Bassists are cool. PP Pumpernickel says, "Hey, what's up, Tom and Dan? I almost make 40K a year. What you guys got going on?" And then he says, "Pump, pump, pump it up. You don't got the answers, Dan." I don't know what that means, but I like this guy. This guy's crazy. You don't got the answers, Dan. I don't. You're right. Yeah. Do you think you get shit on as a bassist? Bassists are cool. EJ, that's where you should do your show. That's where you should stream from. The library, since you're downtown. Do, do, do,
Hello, Christina. Hey, this is Tom from Tom and Dan. I was calling to see if you could do that radio or podcast interview now. Okay, awesome. No, I was gonna say I have the other number for either mom or daughter. Sorry, daughter. Okay, for your mom, I guess. But I was thinking it may be easier if you merge the call yourself rather than if you want to call her right now. We still.
Oh, that's good thinking, T.
We have a couple minutes if you want to just call her and merge the call.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That makes sense.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah, that makes sense, EJ. Sorry, I didn't think about that. You do go later. You need a way to... 'Cause I remember what you wanted to do with your iPad. Yeah, was everybody pretty
Hello?
pumped for the Panthers win? Was everybody happy about that?
Yeah, because I hear the echo.
Is it a mess?
Okay, cool. Yeah, no problem. We're just gonna ask you just about the business and how it is and all that easy questions. All right, cool. All right, I'm gonna put you on hold and then we'll come back to you. And what is your mom's name again, Christina? Sorry. Tammy. Okay, perfect. All right.
Tammy.
Put you on hold. Hold on
I
one
got a
second.
Tammy in my family. Oh, I love a good bass solo. Line
one.
Can you guys hear us okay?
Yep.
Awesome. Hey, thanks again for doing this. We really appreciate it. All right. Here we go. Hold on. Mr. Van, would you like to start?
Yeah.
And 3, 2.
Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Let's get the business out of the way, buddy. Are we done with plugging things? There's got to be something we can plug.
No,
We're
no
streaming right
plugs.
now on YouTube and Twitch, and
Okay.
and we stream every day, Monday through Friday, and you can join us. Normally, the studio kicks off around 10:30 a.m., and we stream from 10:30 a.m. to right around 3 p.m. Most of the time, we're done by then, but we'd love to have you stop by. The chat room's fun, super positive and fun environment, and we'd love to have you there.
Yep, and you could download our app too. Just search Tom and Dan or Mediocre app
Yep.
on your your iPhone or your Google phone,
Yep.
and it'll come
Android
up and it's free.
I believe that's called Android, right? The
Yeah,
other one.
Oh, okay, Android.
You called it the
there.
Google phone. That's fine. That'll work. There is a Google phone. I think there was a couple years ago. There's a Google phone.
Oh, God damn
It's
it.
fine,
Why
it's
did I-
fine, it's
why'd I
fine.
even...
Get it on the goods.
I
The
said
iOS.
nothing.
Look, I'm not saying anything bad. Where are we with the AI thing? We're done with it, right? We're done with it.
No, well, for intros...
People are losing their minds. Like,
No,
oh, so
they're
much hate,
fine
so much
with-
hate. The
no.
Reddit, so much hate.
No, just put...
So I'm going back. I'm going back to slaving in the mines. I'm going.
No, it's
no
not as
more
good.
No,
The AI is better.
No, it's not.
It takes you too long.
No, but AI can't do what I can do. I present you now a version of my daughter's favorite song. We heard this 100 times at the Magic Mall, uncensored. This one is censored. It is the hottest song in the world right now. I give you $1 Million Slam Hog.
Working weird jobs, bad slogs. Working weird jobs, bad slogs. Working weird jobs, bad slogs. Working weird jobs, bad slogs.
I need you to bob to it. This is how the song goes. This is my daughter's favorite song.
Bad slogs. Working weird jobs, bad slogs.
Here we go. Here we go.
Weird jobs.
$1 Million Slam Hog.
What song is this originally?
$1 Million Baby.
Bad slogs. Working weird
That's
jobs.
it. That's all it is. That's the whole song.
Is this popular on
Oh
YouTube?
my God! You've never heard that song?
No, no.
Have our guests heard? Have you guys ever heard the song "$1 Million Baby"?
I have heard it, but the only word I can hear is $1 Million Baby.
Yeah, me
so.
too. Me too. Absolutely. The only thing I know what they're saying is $1 Million Baby.
So on the line with us, we have Christina and Tammy, and they own a dispensary.
Yeah.
So guys, first off, where is your dispensary located?
We are in central Maine in a place called Newport.
Okay, you're in Newport, Maine.
Oh, that sounds fancy.
And I'm not familiar with Maine's laws. Is it recreational or medical up there?
So it's both. Maine has actually had one of the longest medical cannabis programs in the country. It started in the early 2000s, and so it's pretty established. But because of that, since it was so early, it's very, very wild, wild west. There's lots of laws, but also hardly any. It's kind of strange. It's nothing like you guys have down in Florida, where you have a lot of big businesses running the cannabis space.
Yeah.
Here it's all small caregivers. We're called caregivers in the medical space.
I like
Oh,
that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm going to start using that.
Yeah, we should be caregivers.
Yeah, Tom and Dan caregiver. Hold on.
Write
Hold
that
on.
down.
I'm writing that down. Christina, you're a genius.
Make a logo for
And
that.
shout out to and your mom Tammy's on the line too,
Or
right?
we should be Orlando's #1 caregivers.
I wish my wife would
Yeah,
give me some
so-
care.
Hawk to it.
Yes, my mom is actually the original caregiver for us, and
OG.
she started back in 2017.
See what I did
I would
there?
get that wrong.
Original
Yeah,
caregiver, OG.
2017.
So, Christina or Tammy, either one can answer this. Why you would think that if you guys have nearly been doing this 25 years, that things will be more established? Is it because Maine has some rule or law that big corporations can't operate in the space?
Well, originally, up until a couple of years ago, you had to be a Maine resident. So it was really closed off to a lot of the big competitors. And then also, I mean, who's going to come to central Maine? Because we've got like 2,000 people in our town. So there's not a lot of money to be made.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's not a metropolis.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's weird because I remember when
The chat room is saying that Maine weed is the best weed.
Okay, so let's talk about this.
Yeah.
So your mom started the dispensary. When did you guys start?
So she started what's called a home-based caregiver. So basically, you're growing and selling to individual people out of your house. So that's how she started.
She started
She actually
trapping?
started.
Isn't that what a trap house is?
My mom just turned 60, and I think she would not like to say that she lived in a trap house. But
Yeah, trap
one
it. No,
time-
but you get an Uber, then you trap it out the Uber.
Yeah.
That was a movie. Trap it out the Uber.
You can say whatever you want. The truth is the truth. But so she was growing it herself and harvesting, and selling it?
Yes. So we had, at the time, help from my brother and my sister. Started with my sister. The really funny thing is, if I could show you a picture of my mom, she is not someone that you'd be like, oh, that lady grows weed.
Like, we'd never know, right? Yeah, we'd never know.
No.
That's cool, though.
So she is, she's just a very nice, proper,
Aw.
meek lady.
God bless her.
And she just started growing with my sister, and then it grew from there. We decided to open a storefront. My sister has since decided that she's instead going to sell cowboy hats. So,
Dude, you guys are the coolest mother effers in the town. You guys are the coolest people
Hold
I've
on.
ever met. No.
She went
they're the
from
best.
weed to cowboy
Yeah,
hats?
that's the way it goes. That's what you do. That's a real businesswoman.
some cowboy
Can we
hats.
talk to her next week? Is that Tammy?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Tammy, real quick, I want to ask you, did you get into
respectful.
this just because you've always seen, the health benefits of marijuana, or have you been, a lifelong cannabis user? How did it start for you?
I had never used cannabis, and I was actually a dare mom. And
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
no, I had never been a part of the cannabis scene at all. My son used to get into a lot of trouble, and I blamed it on the weed.
Yeah, it'll do
But
it.
no, I got into it to help my daughter, and then found that I really enjoyed growing that part, and then we needed to sell it, and it just evolved from there, and I've learned a lot about the medicinal benefits. So
Tammy,
This is an
completely
amazing
turned
story.
around.
This is an amazing tale.
well, it's crazy that you had such a negative view towards it, and you were able to.
So did my mom.
Turn it around. Do you use cannabis at all yourself, or did you ever start?
I do now, yes.
All right.
Everybody does now. Tammy,
It's so good,
yeah,
right?
It's so good.
She used to be a truck driver. We used to have a trucking company. Just to add one more thing in there.
Sure, yeah.
So she couldn't use it for the longest time. Her and my dad drove together. And now my dad has just recently decided that he's in his mid-60s. He's never going to drive again. So he's finally started using cannabis to help with a lot of different things. So.
Oh, trucking Tammy's off the road, and now Dad says he's gonna blast his shoes off.
Did he ever? Because one of my favorite things is when an old man has never used weed before and he takes too much and he has a freak out.
Mom, tell him about the motorhome incident.
Oh no.
Yeah, we were staying in our motorhome one night, and he wakes me up. He had had a little too much, and he was bouncing up and down the motorhome and freaking out about what has he done. He's gotten us into this business, and what has he done?
And he's like 6'4", like 300 pounds.
He's a big boy. Oh my God,
The whole
he's
motorhome was shaking back and forth.
What
and
have
it
I
lasted
done?
for about an hour until he finally calmed down.
So he was freaking out. He's having
Oh my God,
a
God bless
panic
him.
attack.
I'm glad he's okay.
He's like, I'm
good.
selling drugs. What have I done?
So I gotta bounce this RV up and down and figure something out. I gotta get my family out of this mess. I gotta bounce this RV up and
All right.
down.
So now that we've heard your backstory, which is awesome, let's talk about the business of owning a dispensary. So, and I know it's different in every state.
Yeah.
So,
what do you guys provide as far as like product?
well, and let's start with the growing. Do you guys still grow it yourself, or do you, have someone else do that and buy it from them?
So now we've gotten to the point where, especially in this market, growing is really expensive because in Maine you have to pretty much grow indoor. So the electricity is insane. So a lot of people have gone either grow or retail. And we realized we were much better at the retail. So we decided to go that way. It's nice in Maine because especially in medical, there's a lot of restrictions in recreational. So we have one of both. We have a medical store and a recreational store. We also manufacture edibles for both of our stores. And the funnest part is the medical side, because you can pretty much do whatever you want. You want to make a 500 milligram brownie, whatever. There's no limits, really. So my mom she really loves to cook, so she really loves to come up with like different edibles. But we have everything. We have everything from pre-rolls, bag flour, concentrates, edibles, drinks, pipes, all sorts of stuff. We kind of are like your one-stop shop. And we're right on a tourist crossroad.
Nice.
So if you ever go to Maine and like go to the vacation area of Maine, like northern Maine, you'll drive right by us. So we've got a lot of people who come in and like that we have everything they need to go on vacation.
I mean, I do want to go to Maine, so I will jot all this down because it sounds lovely, and you guys sound lovely. It sounds like an awesome little shop.
So you guys don't have any specifications when it comes to medical and the amount you could do unlimited milligrams? That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, which is weird. So one of the things...
Yeah, so one of the things, there is a limit, but it's very high. So you can have we can sell to a patient 2.5 ounces per transaction. And
Ooh.
if in milligrams, that's a lot of edibles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
How many milligrams is that? I mean,
Could you estimate it for?
is that 5,000 milligrams?
You're going to make me do math.
Yeah,
No,
sorry,
no,
sorry.
I'm not Tammy. I promise. I'm too
Well,
respectful of you.
When you said 500 milligram brownie, I was like, you'll be camper bouncing for sure on that one.
Well, that's gonna bounce.
We do have a 1,000 milligram candy bar.
Oh, wow.
What?
It was anybody that can do that. Like, I take.
You don't want to do the 1,000
I
candy bar challenge? You don't want to do the challenge?
I took a 50 milligram that I
That's
got
when you
one.
texted me.
and then I woke my wife up in the middle of the night. I pulled you what your husband did. I was like, I have to pace back
You
and forth.
texted me, help.
And I had to walk it out. So I got a low tolerance.
Me too. But one great thing about Maine's medical program is we have reciprocity with every other state. So if you have a medical card in another state and you come here on vacation, we can sell you 2.5 ounces.
Oh,
man. I'm a fan. Hell yeah, man.
So, okay, now
That's awesome.
let's get down to the business of the actual buying it and reselling it, okay? Because I've looked at this before. Obviously we've got medical here in Florida and a bunch of different corporations that are True Leaf, Certera, some of the big ones, Move, Vitacan. There's like probably 10 good-sized companies that are selling THC now, and they're all doing deals and stuff, and sometimes like I'm looking at these deals that they offer and I'm like, the packaging for the product seems like it's worth more than the actual product. The individual, and I'm like, the company probably spends more money on the packaging than it does on the THC. And then I'm like, well, I wonder how much the THC is. So maybe you could shed some light on that. I don't want to get too far into business, but what's the markup on THC? Or is it all over the place?
It's pretty much all over the place, and it depends on which market. So on the medical side, you have a lot of small craft growers where they don't produce huge quantities. So their prices can be a little higher, but you're also getting really good flower from them.
Is it
because, like I said, they're craft growers.
Is it like legacy craft style? Like this is ultra rare marijuana and it's priced that way, like you would a luxury good almost? Like does it, like if it comes from a specific brand and it's a legendary type, is it like, yeah, it's always going to be like that because it's known to be super powerful or potent?
No, it's more on how they grow. So the small caregivers, we grow for the medical community, so we don't put any pesticides, nothing extra. We don't plump those plants up with chemicals, things like that. And you're getting a much better quality product than you would from these huge grows that they do volume.
Gotcha.
And they want to pump it out as fast as they can. We're a craft grower, wait for that plant to be ready before they harvest.
So it's just like a vegetable, whether you're buying super organic, small batch vegetables that are maybe grown in a different way that giant farms would.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
That makes sense. And then I also wondered, like, for you guys, because I start looking at, all right, like, the edible side of things, because I tell Daniel this all the time, like, for me, I'm like, just give me the THC. I don't necessarily need it in a chocolate or some sort of candy.
I really do prefer a capsule to a gummy bear because I just don't need the whimsicalness of the bear.
Yeah. And then I'm looking at the business. I'm like, well, it must be a pain in the ass. I bet they think that it's a lot easier to sell it in a capsule than it is to make some sort of mint chocolate chip candy around it, because now you're adding like a whole different process of like making little candies or gels or whatever it is. So how does that work? Or is that part of the marketing?
It is part of the marketing. We have a lot of people who get excited when they see we have new things. Like, we just came out with the chocolate-covered marshmallows, which, you know, people came in, they're like, oh, shit, I got to get some. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I got to get some of and, you know, stuff like that. People get excited to see the new stuff. We do our gummies on the medical side in like a candy store style. So we'll do, you know, 10, 12 different flavors, and you can come and you'll say, like, I want 2 of those, I want 3 of those. You know, you can make your own, like, mixed bag of candy.
Willy Wonka?
Like an old store, like you do it like the old candy shop at Disney World, where like you're like,
Yes.
I'll give you 2 green apple and a cherry and a
Okay,
peppermint.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God, this is awesome.
Yeah, and you can do things like that when you're like a small, I mean, literally me and my mom are the ones who are running it, you know.
But that's
we're the ones
cool.
deciding what gets made.
I
and-
would be more apt to go to small mom and pop weed
Yeah,
shop. I'm
yeah.
telling you right now. If we had those around here, if you guys were around here and I could pop in and say hi to you, because you know I love to chirp, and they sound
Yeah,
chirpy.
yeah. I get what you guys
Yeah,
are doing.
You guys sound chirpy, and I walk in there, I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
what are you
yeah.
doing? You're like, we got the chocolate-covered marshmallow.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh,
all
good
your
to
weed
see
candies are set up like old school
you. And what's
candy
the name?
shop.
Can you say the name of your shop because it plays in?
Grams, 5, and dime.
Grams
Oh,
5. Oh,
yeah,
I love it.
And then
It's-
Tammy's back there wearing an apron. It's
Oh,
like,
my
oh,
God.
I'm just Tammy back here cooking some
and
cookies
I'm-
for you guys.
God bless her. I just want to smooch her face.
But meanwhile, you're a hardcore businesswoman,
Yeah.
and you got an AK back there
Yeah,
or
you'll-
some sort of AR.
You definitely will blow somebody's kneecaps off with a shotgun.
And that you got an awesome business model, because I can imagine going up to Maine and you're like a tourist from a different town. You go into
Oh my God! I
Grams,
get a
5 and 9.
500-gram brownie. Get back to the hotel room. I load up some People's Court.
Then you buy a custom cowboy hat right next door.
Hey guys, I got so high, I bought 3 custom cowboy hats.
So what's right now like the most popular product that you see currently? Is it the edibles or is it still the flour?
We go back and forth between pre-rolls. They're really popular for us because of our location. You know, people are going out on the boat or people are going up to camp and they want, you know, something that's easily accessible. So pre-rolls are our biggest seller, but I mean, followed closely by the gummies. We don't make as much on the gummies because they're like one of our lower cost items. So we do sell a ton of them volume-wise. It's just not one of our bigger income-wise ones, but we sell a lot of them.
Okay. And now I guess our final question is, usually when we do these weird job interviews, I ask the person how much they make. But instead of getting too much into your business of how much revenue you make, can you give us an example of maybe a type of company that's similar to yours that you've seen that would make similar revenue as a small mom and pop business?
Oh, there's not many mom and pop businesses that make as much as cannabis businesses.
I knew it. Yeah.
Yes, that's the way you say it.
Take that, Play It Again Sports. You should have been selling weed.
Take your stupid hockey sticks and flush it down the toilet.
I do look at it like this is the best business because people
Listen how
love
happy
it.
they sound.
Yeah, and your customers are always happy. Like you probably rarely deal with some curmudgeon customer who's yelling at
Well,
you
let's
or
ask, do
whatever.
you guys deal with any like jerks?
Oh, you know, not really. I would say 99.9% of people who come in, they're excited, they're happy.
Sure.
They are getting stuff that's either going to make them, you know, feel better if they're, you know, in pain or not sleeping, or it's going to make them just like feel happy. So rarely. The times that we do get upset people, sometimes it's more like if a product isn't up to their standard, and we always try to make that right. You know, if somebody comes in and like their cart got their cartridge clogged and they only had like a couple pulls off of it, we'll replace it because stuff like that happens.
Probably
Yeah.
left
So-
it in your pocket like an animal.
Yeah. Don't carry your vape pen in your pocket or in
Yeah.
your purse.
Yeah, why are you doing that, people? You're not supposed to do that. Good Lord.
It's a testament to, if you're going to get into a business where your customers aren't either miserable or stressed
Well, the
out.
exact
or-
opposite. We know the exact opposite of your business. You ready?
Yeah,
Mom and pop moving company. There you go. There's the opposite. There's the
Yeah,
exact
yeah.
opposite. Mom and pop movers.
Yeah, yeah.
Mom's five and dime. Oh, we'll break all your stuff and
all-
you'll complain.
Yeah, all your customers are mad, every single stressed out. Anyway, well, Tammy, Christina, thanks so much
You
for
guys
taking
are
the time.
awesome. And plug your business again if we got anybody that wants to stop by and give us a review and a shout out.
Yeah, we're Graham's Five and Dime. We're located in Newport, Maine, so right off of I-95 when you're heading up to the vacation areas. Our website is grams5.com. We have online ordering, so if you're on your way to camp, you can just put an order in.
Come on, man.
And I also wanted to give anybody who happens to listen to this and hear this, if you mention that you're a scumbag, then we'll give you 15% off.
Whoa!
right.
Get that a $500 brownie.
Talk to your sister about 15% off the cowboy hat.
We're going through a cowboy. I don't know if you guys know this, but country's the new rap. And with Post Malone releasing his T1 Trillion or F1 Trillion album, we're definitely T1 Trillion. This is how dumb I am. F1 Trillion. We need cowboy hats now. So guys, just keep us in mind for free hats. All right. We'll
see
talk
ya.
to you soon. Take care. Thanks for doing
All
it.
right.
Bye-bye. You're so sweet.
Man, that weed business.
Oh, man.
Although
You
here
sound very happy.
in Florida, it's impossible to
It's different here.
for it to be. I don't even
Different
know.
here. Let's just move. You and I, we pack this thing up. We
Oh.
move it to Maine.
Yeah.
We start a small
Craft,
we ask them to kind of guide us, and we start something similar in a different area, and we just ride it out.
Here's the thing. I have a feeling though, like Graham's Five and Dime. It sounds very like they are hardcore business
You
people.
can tell they're hustlers.
Yeah. And then
Tammy did not sound like no fool.
if we started, let's say, down the street in their territory,
Oh, they'll put us out. Yeah, they'll burn our shop down.
Well, they'll throw the brick through the
Yeah,
window,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Graham will be like, "I'm coming for
Yeah,
you."
next thing you know, I see was that a Graham's van drive by? Molotov cocktail comes in. Oh my God, the whole studio's on fire.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more corporate time.
That's funny. She was great. That is
Wednesday 1.
and it needs an edit. Just a
Although you
It
could
was
barely.
So small. All right. We're taking a break. That's 6:24. Raw audio. Wednesday. Is that the first one? Is it one? Wednesday 1?
Yeah, Wednesday 1.
Cool. Sorry.
And then Tuesday 3. So we just have to we have to do Tuesday 4 and then EJ. So we could do that from 1 to 2.
And you want to do that other segment after lunch too?
Yeah, I think so. Because we'll just do it after EJ segment.
Works for me.
And then I just have the meeting. I just have to leave here by 2:30.
Perfect. That works. All right, guys, we're gonna go to lunch.
We'll be back at 1 or be a little before 1.
Yep, we'll be.